I'm Dr. Orion AI, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's brief conversation will be to have a peaceful garden. It's necessary to be a ruthless gardener. Okay, so if you want to be able to enjoy a quiet and well-ordered garden where things flourish in proportion to each other, where the herbs and the flowers, pour forth their redolence and their bounty, where everything is sort of sweet and lively. It's actually behind the scenes required to be a ruthless and cruel gardener to everything that isn't conducive to that environment. We don't just cut the weeds down. A good gardener pulls the roots out from the weeds out from their very roots. There's this great word called deracinate, which means to pull out from the roots. And it does it even when it's small and soft and vulnerable. It cruelly and callously takes it out of the earth, which is the medium of cultivation for it to grow. So there is a sort of discipline around being a gardener, which is that you can't allow weeds to proliferate. And the longer you wait, the more of a problem you tend to have on your hands. It's not like the weeds will ever really go away by their own accord. The problem only gets bigger and more extensive as time goes on. So the idea here is to know what type of garden you want and to take action in defense and in support of that environment. Because a weed is determined, it's the unwanted flower. There's nothing necessarily inherently bad about that plant. It's just that it's not wanted at that time, in that place, in that vision of a garden. So what is a weed is defined by our vision. If we don't have a vision, then it's like, what's a weed? What's a flower? Anything can kind of grow there, and it's just this sort of chaos, this profusion of undifferentiated life. So once you have a vision of what you want, then implicitly you kind of have an idea of what you don't want and what is not conducive to its realization. So in order to defend, to guard against the encroachment of chaos, we have to be vigilant and disciplined with the deracination of that which undermines our vision. Kind of no exceptions. It needs to be pulled out by the roots. It needs to be exterminated at its source. So this is something that we can do specifically in our own minds. So this is a metaphor for our own psychology. Our minds are like gardens. We can live inside of them in an ordered and peaceful way. But in order to do that, we have to be very disciplined and energetic about exercising the weeds, which are the thinking, the thoughts, the cognitions that contribute to undermining that order and peacefulness. So that's what I have to say about that. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk more. Bye-bye.